Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video I'm going to be taking you through the Forex market wrap, going to highlight the news that happened this week and some charts of interest. So let's kick it off with the news. We had some interesting data this week. Let's just pop this on the side here. And we actually had the week kicking off with some Kiwi CPI, which came in a little bit higher than expected. But the main kind of points for this week, we had pound inflation CPI year on year see an increase to 9.4%. That's quite interesting because the Bank of England have recently talked about being a little bit more aggressive with hikes, so that inflation rising is going to put the pressure back on the Bank of England to do more in terms of monetary policy. The big talk of the week, however, was the euro, and it was this ECB rate statement, and we can see that the ECB hiked by 50 basis points, which is the first time they've hiked interest rates in 11 years. So quite a significant move for the ECB. To be honest, they've been holding their ground quite aggressively and not really wanting to add any kind of well, they were adding further stimulus to the market by not hiking interest rate essentially, and now they have done that. It may be a little bit too late though, I think, for the ECB. They have outside pressures as well. They have Nord Stream 1 coming back online this week, which came back on at 40% capacity, and you know, Vladimir Putin may use that as a tool to put pressure on the EU to not help other countries. So interesting going on in the Europe at the moment. I think this boost that we've seen in the market will be short-lived. However, obviously, lack of US high impact data this week could have put a little bit of pressure on the US dollar. And you can see actually we had some services PMI data that came in lower than expected down here today. So we've actually seen a little bit of weaker or softer data out of the US as well, which has caused that dollar to continue to fall this week. We can clearly see that on the euro US dollar charts. This is the 4-hour time frame. This was the downtrend we were looking at in the market, and the fact that we talked about price bouncing from parity last week. This was the key high for us. If price was to trade above that key high, I was expecting some further upside to the market, and you can see here the market made a higher low. We rallied to the upside, we came back into that level of interest, and then the market started to spike back to the upside, and we've actually seen a move towards these key highs now, where we have seen a little bit of selling pressure coming into the market. So we may see a bit of a pullback there, but ultimately the key weekly lows are around about this 103.48 area, which could see a retest in the near term. Price does look like to be heading back to there, so we could see dollar weakness remain for another week or so. Going on to Aussie, again, we were talking about the fact that we're in this overall downward trend, but if price was to trade above 0.6800, which were these previous structural highs, then we could actually see a move a little bit higher, and price broke through those highs, formed that higher low pattern and rallied to the upside. We also did another video this week talking about price retesting this area down through here, but we didn't quite get that retest. Instead, price found support a little bit higher up, and we've traded back to that key area of resistance. So Aussie US dollar in an area, in a zone of resistance now. We could start to see a little bit of pressure coming back into that market, but it's been pretty much bullish this week due to the fact that the stock markets have rose, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Going on to silver then, so in this week's week ahead analysis video, we talked about the seasonals on silver, and that the fact on average July is its best performing month. What we didn't have though was really any kind of key areas of support and resistance until sort of last week, where price formed this double bottom pattern at this key monthly support area. We've rallied away from that. Price has come all the way back down into the area where buyers originally stepped into the market, and you can see buyers have stepped in again. So the people buying from this area have either defended this level, and we've seen a continuation of a bullish move, or it's essentially they've added into more positions at that point again. So we could see a break of these highs, and silver could start to push back a little bit higher again. Seasonal pattern potentially playing out there. Finally then, the S&P 500, we were talking about this tight trading range that the market was in, that you could look to either trade the range, or if price was to break the range, you could look for a move back up into the 4100 area through here. And you can see it's only been a slow sort of breakout. We did get a really strong breakout this week, but if you look at the candles that have followed on from this at the moment, they have been very shallow. So that to me tells a picture of the breakout wasn't very aggressive, wasn't very strong, which could suggest that price may fall back within the range, and that we could see price continue to the downside here for the stock market. So I'd like to see a test of 4100. That was the area where big selling pressure came in the past, so I would like to see that tested for a move down. But like, you know, the market's not going to kind of care what we think it's going to do, what it wants to do. So if price trades back within the range, we could see a continuation and a move back to the downside there. Really hope you enjoyed the content this week. Hope you learned a lot, and if you did, please leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.